Perfect, guys. So the first thing I want to do on tonight's orientation call is that I want to take you into our Facebook page, okay? And as I move through, if you have questions, drop them in the chat and we'll answer them. And at the end, I'll open up for a Q&A session when we're completely done. But for the sake of time, I'll only take questions through the chat so we can move through this information as quickly and efficiently as possible. So taking you to our Facebook page, what we've done is we've created an environment where you are going to know what success looks like, right? You are never going to not know, if I can use a double negative, what it takes to be successful here at Family First Life. And then it's up to you then to take that information and be successful. So this private Facebook group, all of you should be in it. Join it today. FFL, the Impact Agency team page. You just submit a request to join and we'll accept you. And what we do here is we provide just motivation, encouragement, training for our agents on a daily basis. It's an opportunity for you to also get recognition, right, for the work that you do. And so I don't know how many of you at your current position, if you're working full time, people recognize you and applaud your accomplishments every day. But that's the environment that we've created here. And so as you scroll through our discussion section, you'll see different things. For example, this agent was out helping some families. So we like to post pictures when we're out helping clients, and people like and comment, and congratulate. Different motivational quotes are posted in here. Prince was out 1 hour ago, helped a client, made almost $1,500 at a Jamaican restaurant. That's actually pretty cool. And then success stories like this guy, Isaiah, has been with Family First Life since 2019, built an agency that's doing about 8 million so far this year in sales. And then different tips are shared. Like, for example, I text 4 clients today that didn't answer the phone when I called them. 2 of them called me back and I was able to book, 4 of them called me back and I was able to book an appointment with 2 of them. So I shared my text message, which is simple but effective. Sometimes we overthink things. So different things like that is what we share when, where leads are available, brand new leads. We also, if somebody has a lead and they can't get to that lead, they might post it here. And so if you're licensed in that state or you live in that area, you get an opportunity to be able to get a free lead and do a split, make some money with an agent. This is actually fun. You guys should go back and watch this. In our Atlanta office today, we had a training and one of the agents came up with a jingle and we all stood up and sang the jingle and had some fun. So, and then the numbers that I just went over, we post them here every week, so you can always see where you are in the rankings, what your issue paid numbers are. Each week on Thursday, they're reported to us by the carriers. So that just gives you a quick idea, and any updates, that are training announcements, again, sales that agents post, weekly sales. Top agent was Geo this week, did $9,453 in sales just in this week. And then lead discounts. This is what I was looking for. So whenever there's lead discounts, which we have so many of them going on right now, I mean, it's almost like every day there's a discount code for leads. And so whenever there's discounts on leads, we're posting them here. So that way you can be notified and you can take advantage of that 40% off, which ends tonight, by the way. You have until midnight if you're buying leads. And then again, recognition. Princess did a virtual sale. One of the great things about what we do here is you could go out and help a client in person, which is what I prefer. But you can also do a telesale, sell over the phone, or you could do a Zoom sale virtually. And so Princess, did a Zoom sale and made almost $1,700 on that one sale. So like I said, we want to make sure that you're well aware of what success looks like. And we also want to applaud you for your success when you are successful, which we expect, because when you're in this environment, it's just going to rub off on you. And then we're doing a lead giveaway. We call it our player of the day. And the player of the day, each day we pick a winner. It's an agent that's gone out, made some sales, posted a picture or a 30-second video review with their client. And we give away $100 in leads. Every day or every field day. Let's be more specific. It's 4 days a week on the field days. So different things like these are what you want to take advantage of within the Facebook group, and why you want to be in there, and you want to check it daily. And then also we have what's called our guides section. And in the guide section, these training calls, remember I told you this call is being recorded and it's going to be posted here. And so you could go back and you could watch some of our training calls, some of the orientation calls. All of them are posted here in guide section 1. Our issue paid numbers posted here. Different contracting training videos in case you may have questions on contracting. FFL apparel store where you could buy business cards and polo shirts, any type of business support material, ID badge, all of that link is here. And then our social pages, please follow all of our pages, and then copy the content that we're putting out and reshare it, because you never know who's looking for an opportunity. I literally got a text tonight from someone, and I'll just read you the text just so you see. Says, hello, my name is someone in my family shared a post from your Facebook page. Can we talk today? Sorry to disturb you. I want to work with Family First Life. So just, you never know who's watching, who's looking for an opportunity, and you'll be able to help somebody better their position. So that's our Facebook page. I see we got a question here in the chat. Is there a portal? Great question, Blue. Is there a portal we need to go through to use when we're doing virtual sales? No, there's not a portal. You could use Zoom or telesale or just over the phone, and you're going directly to the carrier website to do the application. So it's just up to you, whichever route you want to, if you want to use Zoom or just sell over the phone with your client. I like Zoom when I do virtual sales because I'm still able to see the client, and communication to me is just so much better when we can see each other. That's why I asked you guys to turn your cameras on. So that's our Facebook page, guys. Make sure you're in here and you participate. And if you don't have a Facebook account, I think I talked to somebody this week and they're like, I don't have Facebook, but I'm putting one together. You definitely should, because there's so much content that you and if it's just to be here in this group, you definitely need it, right? And then the biggest thing actually that I skipped over, you get an opportunity to talk to the other agents that are having success, right? This is really a networking environment where you're able to reach out to Bill, Bob, Joe, Sue, Mary, whomever, and say, hey, I saw you made $1,600 on a virtual sale. You mind, 5 minutes, I could talk with you, ask you a couple questions about what you're doing, see what I can learn from you. I'm brand new, just getting going. Or, hey, I see you went out there and you sold a $2,000 policy at a Jamaican restaurant. You mind if I reach out to you 5 minutes and see what you're doing? And you're able to learn from people that are already successful. That's why we created this environment free of charge. We have that community atmosphere and that team atmosphere where a rising tide raises all ships. And so we're helping each other win because we're in this together, okay? So that's our Facebook page. Next, I'm gonna take you over to our main website, which is fflimpactagency.com. And so on this website, you could go to the Who Are We section. We'll get this person in from the waiting room. Okay, there we go. You can go to the Who Are We section. There's a 1:35-second video here from our CEO, Sean Mike. Sean Mike has built this company from ground up, from 2013 December to now. So this will be 8 years this year in December. And the company's on track to do $400 million in sales this year, okay? Last year, I think it was just over 300 million. And we're on track to do 400 million this year, from zero in 8 years to a $400 million company. And so you get to hear a message from him about our agency and how we help and support our agents. And then you get to learn a little bit about us, myself, my wife, who's a managing partner with the agency, our VP of operations, Desiree, whom most of you have spoken to, and a little bit about a couple of our sales managers. Individuals that you'll get to meet and collaborate and work with as well. And so that's on our Who We Are section. And then the most important part of this website is the knowledge library, which is on the main page. You could click this image, or you could scroll down and click on this bar. I guess that's what this is. and it takes you into our knowledge library. And our knowledge library is broken down into a couple sections, right? We have contracting, compensation, training, leads, phone, products, and in-home, and then hiring. And so what I'm going to do for the rest of this call, I'm going to take you through each section, and I'm just going to highlight things that you need to be able to focus on. And your homework over the next 1 to 2 business days is to kind of do a little bit of a deep dive on the knowledge library, get yourself familiar with it, because this is a tool that you'll be using day in and day out as you're out and about running your business, helping families and making money. And so I'm going to take you through each section and kind of highlight a few things for you. So first section is contracting. Okay. So with the contracting section, there's a couple of training videos here that you can watch and be able to see kind of where you are in the contracting process and answer any questions that you may have about contracting. And then here you also have a link to schedule a call with Desiree to get some help with contracting if you do need some help. And so this one, you just click it, it takes you to a Calendly, and it opens up and you're able to book a time with her, a 15-minute session. So if you're not sure where you are in contracting, or if you've completed all your contracting, then you're able to schedule a contracting call with her and get some help with that. And these videos will give you some help too. So by now, if you're a licensed agent, just to kind of give you an idea, you should have completed our HCMS portal, where you entered in your national producer number, your social security number, and then that will send you a link to SureLC, which is the portal through which you complete your applications to be appointed with the insurance companies. And you should have completed those. I think there's 5 carriers in that portal that you complete with. And those take about a week to 2 weeks for you to get back your agent ID numbers, and then you'll be ready to go. So if you have any questions about that, that's Desiree's specialty as our operations manager, and you could schedule a quick call with her and she'll help you with that. Compensation is what I'll jump to next. So a couple things I'll touch on here. First, our compensation or promotional guideline. And so, you know, depending on where you start, you can advance and make more money at your pace, if you will. And so, for example, the starting contract level is 90%. Typically, most of our agents, we start at 100%. Okay, so let's use that for an example. So if you start at 100%, the production that's expected at that contract level is 10,000 issue paid premiums per month. What that simply means is that our average policy is $1,000, and so you're expected to be doing 10 policies a month, which is 4 weeks in a month. 10 times divided by 4 is like 2.5 policies, I guess, roughly, if my math is right. So either way, it's something that's achievable, right? And so that's kind of where you start. And then if you want to advance, all you have to do is you have to issue more business. So instead of 10 policies, 15 policies at 15,000, now you're at 105%. That's an additional 5% payout that you get on the business that you write. And then you can advance up the ranks, as you see on your screen, all the way to 130%. To go above 130%, you would need to do that as an agency. That's what you call the builder contract, where you're building an agency. So it's you and a few other agents. You do 300,000 plus, and you advance all the way up to 145. Now, on the personal production side, or on the 90 to 130% side, you can advance with an agency as well. So, for example, if you're at 100%, you do 10,000. Now, if you put an agency together and collectively you do 75,000, you still did 10, but now you get to advance to 105. So if you're somebody that's ambitious, like I was, and I am, and want to build a business, you can do that out the gate if you want to. We'll coach you and help you do that. Or you could get your feet wet, start issuing some business, and then we can help you do that. But you can advance either way, on your personal pen or as an agency. And then to kind of sweeten the deal, Family First Life has some bonuses. Let me see if we got this updated yet. Okay, we didn't get it updated yet, but there are some bonuses that are associated with these different levels. For example, last month I did I think it was 34,000 on my own personal pen out, in addition to what our agency did. And so I just got an email today that I'm getting a $500 bonus for that 30,000. I think it's like 750 if you do 40,000, and then it's 1,000 if you do $1,000 bonus if you do 50,000, and then 12,550. I'm sorry, not 12,550, 1,250 if you do 60,000 in personal production. So you can get bonuses anywhere from 6,000 to I think 30,000 a year additional on top of what you make just from Family First Life as a producer. So there's plenty of opportunities to make money here. Now, here's exactly how you get paid from the insurance companies, right? We're gonna do some quick math here. This is what's called our comp guide, and it's the exact percentage point or amount that the insurance company pays you based on the product that you write. And this is important, just like if you owned a store, right? Those of you that like shopping, male or female, it doesn't matter. We all like shopping, right? And when we went to stores more regularly, opposed to going to Amazon, but I'm sure Amazon does it too, but just use that store analogy. You go into the store, normally you at the front of the store, you'll have like the most expensive t-shirt, the stuff that's higher priced, because they want you to get that stuff. They want you to see it first, grab it first, and spend your money on that because it brings in the most revenue. Now, when you look at what we do for our clients, we always put our clients' needs first. And that's one of the things that's phenomenal about Family First Life. It's about putting families first. And it's got to be good for the client, good for the agent, good for the company. It's kind of our motto here. So you want to be aware of which products pay out what. Because yes, you're in business to put your clients first, but you're also in business to stay in business. And so if your client can qualify for the product that's going to be the best product for them and pay you the most, then put them with that product. So for example, Americo is that product. They're our platinum partner, preferred partner, however you want to say it. So if you're at 100% contract with them and you write a term policy with them, and it's $1,000 a year that the client is paying, you just made $1,000. Okay, they're paying you 100% of that first year premium, and they're going to break that into a 75% upfront deposit within 2 to 3 days, and then that last 25% they're going to pay you at the end of the year in months 10, 11, and 12. So they say, hey, Mr. Client's paying us, for the first month, we're going to pay you for 9 months up front. And then as Mr. Client pays 10, 11, and 12 months, we'll pay you that 10, 11, and 12 months. We'll drop that into your account. That's how you get paid. Okay. And that's on the term policies. Now, if it's a whole life policy, then they're going to pay you 95%. So 5% less is what they'll pay on the whole life products. And it works in the same way. They're going to give you 9 months advance, and then they'll pay you months 10, 11, and 12 as the client pays those premiums. Okay. So it's important to know that. For example, I'll make a distinction here. With Mutual of Omaha, their whole life product, final expense product, pays you at 86%. So if my client can qualify for Americo, I'm going to go ahead and put them with Americo. But if Americo won't approve them, then I'm definitely going to Mutual of Omaha. And so that's what I mean. Just pay attention to that. And I also always highlight AIG, which pays you at 50%. So that product you only write if you need to, and the only time you need to is if the client's, literally, for lack of a better term, on their deathbed. That's like current cancer, heart attack in the last 6 months, stroke within the last 6 months, on dialysis, those conditions that are severe health conditions, higher risk factors, and we got to get them some coverage. It's a guaranteed issue. There's no health questions. And they have to live for 2 years before it pays out. And then because they're taking on such a risky case, they're not willing to pay you as much. So take a look at this when you guys get a chance. And if you have any questions, check with your business coach here, and they can guide you. And we also have a list of kind of our preferred partners, which I'm going to go over with you here shortly. So you kind of know the order of operations of kind of how we go through to find who's the best fit for the client based on their health. For those of you that aspire to build an agency, These are the agency manager levels. And in addition to your commission from the sales that you make, in addition to the bonus on the sales that you make that you get from Family First Life, you can make an override for agents that you bring on board and you help. And really helping them is just plugging them into the system and letting the system train them and letting them take advantage of the system, answering any questions that you can answer, or plugging them in with the person that's coaching you to answer their questions. So you could start that out the gate. But at the various levels of management levels, there's bonuses on top of that. So you've got your commissions, you've got a bonus on the sales that you make from Family First Life. You also have carrier bonuses, and then you have the overrides on the sales of the agents that you help. And then Family First Life pays you an agency bonus as well when you get to $150,000 in issue paid business. The minimum bonus once you get to that level, when you have a team of agents doing 150,000, is $2,500 a month. So that's $30,000 guaranteed if you do that every month, 150,000. And then as you increase your levels, then that's even more money. But minimum is 30,000 a year that you can make in bonus money. And 50,000 is super achievable, right? Because our average agent does 10,000 here at Family First Life, and so a month. And so 50,000 is you and 4 other agents, right? And then 100,000, you and 9 other agents, and then 15 agents, you do 150,000, and you got a $2,500 bonus on top of everything else that you make. And then it could kind of get crazy. I think the highest bonus paid out last month was 400,000 to an agency manager. I think their agency did like 18 million in sales last month, and so they got a $400,000 bonus. But that's down the road. I wholeheartedly believe that getting to 150,000 as an agency, you could do that in 90 days to 6 months if you wanted to put an agency together, if not sooner, just depending on how hard you're willing to work and what your goals are. At the end of the day, I always say, you don't have to hire anybody out the gate. We're not one of those companies that want you to, kind of hire, everybody in your family. But if you do, we'll help you. But you're not required to. You can get in and be a producer and just make money to provide for your family. So, and again, guys, feel free to drop the questions that you have in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them for you. So jumping into our training section, right? A couple things here. Being brand new, you want to, know, okay, how do I make a phone call, right? What do I say when I get to the house? And there's other things too, what leads are the best leads and how do I order those leads? So we have training throughout the week that you want to plug into as much as possible. All of it is recorded, so you can go back and listen to it. Our Facebook page and our YouTube page, we always have that content in there. But Mondays, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., we have live dials on Zoom. And so you could tune in. Here's a Zoom ID. There's no password, just punch in the ID and you can get in. And you could listen to agents dial and book their appointments, whether they're booking virtual or in-person appointments, Mondays and Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Monday, which you should be on this Monday or listen to the recording that night, 2 p.m. every Monday, we have a sales training call. Normally, we're interviewing some new agents, kind of sharing what they're doing to have success, or we'll bring in a veteran agent, sharing some tips that help them become successful. But it's really hands-on sales training. It's going to be surrounding, either phone calls, dialing, either in-home or lead strategy, hands-on stuff that you could utilize. We don't do a lot of fluff. Everything we do, we got to be effective because, this is your family. This is how you provide for your family. This is serious. And then every Thursday night, we have the 8 p.m. new agent orientation. So what I recommend for you, at least your first 30 days, get on here every week, because each week you'll hear something different. Each week it's somebody different that's hosting the call. Last week it was Gio. This week it's me. And so get on the orientation call so that way you could become more familiar with everything and kind of know where everything is located and be reminded of it too. Because sometimes, you might forget, oh yeah, that's where this is. And that's every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then Friday, don't miss this call. And if you do, because you're working or whatever the case may be, make sure you go back and watch it. 11 a.m. is the next level live on our Facebook page and our corporate Family First Life Facebook page. And this is a corporate sales call where there's either one or multiple agents providing you sales training. A couple weeks ago, for example, we had virtual sales training where an agent went through her whole virtual sales process. So different things like that is what you'll hear on the call. And speaking of virtual, here's the actual platform, or not platform, but portal or page where you can get all the virtual sales tools like training videos and phone scripts and meeting structures and everything that you need if you're doing virtual sales. Back to, I think it was Blue that asked me that question. So there's not a platform, but there's a lot of tools that you could utilize, training videos and everything there. And then we have some phone script training. Here, we kind of curated our top videos. So 3 videos on phone scripts, watch all 3, and 3 videos on in-home presentation. So we're not one of those companies that, take you in the car and say, hey, let's go do a ride along, or say, hey, hop on the Zoom, I'm meeting with my client, listen in. We provide you the training, and then the training is at the level where you can watch the training, take notes, practice it, and then implement it. And then, yeah, you might mess it up initially, but the good thing is your clients don't know what you're supposed to be saying. So it's not like they watch the video and they're going to say, hey, Cassie, you missed this point right here. They're not doing that. They're looking for life insurance to protect their family. As long as you're doing that, no matter if it's sloppy or not, they're going to accept your help. And then the more you do it, the better you get. So I like to say it's on the job training. But these 3 videos will give you a great structure, a great format for you to be able to do an in-home presentation. And then on top of that, we have our top 3 YouTube channels. Now, I like to look at this business like my favorite movie, The Matrix, right? For those of you that have seen The Matrix, it's my favorite all-time movie, the original Matrix, not all the sequels with all the CGI effects and everything like that. But the thing I like about the movie is the concept. For those of you that don't know, the guy, the hero, Neo, in the movie, they basically hooked him up to a machine and they could download anything to his brain that they needed him to know or he wanted to know. For example, he needed to know how to fly a helicopter, had no knowledge, never been taught. They just hooked him up, downloaded the file on how to fly a helicopter, and basically instantly he knew how to do it. That is how I use these 3 YouTube channels. Anything that I don't know that I need to know, I go to these YouTube channels and I type it in, how to call leads, what leads to get, how to do an in-home presentation, whatever the question it may be, how to run a quote, whatever, it's all there. There's so much content. Sometimes it might even be overwhelming, but utilize YouTube University. And we've kind of pointed out these 3 channels, our channel, corporate channel, and then Family First Life USA's channel. And then that's, the gist of your training. And the more you soak up, especially in your first 90 days, the more you're going to be able to implement, right? And so give yourself that runway of 90 days to know that, hey, I'm going to be learning. It's going to be like drinking out of a fire hose. But that's a part of the process, and I'm going to implement as much as I can. And then you'll start just becoming natural after a period of time. So leads, right? We're a lead-based organization, and there's a ton of leads available. And especially over the last 4 weeks, we've added a bunch of new lead vendors. But our main source of leads for our new agents are the CRM leads. So there's a video here that's called Everything a New Agent Needs to Know About Leads. This is Sasha. She's our corporate lead manager, manages the lead department. And so she does a video kind of highlighting all the different leads that are available. We also have a lead guide here that you could read and some frequently asked questions. We have it in Spanish if you prefer Spanish. And then we have our CRM, which I'm going to jump into here shortly. But that's where you'll get the majority of your leads. We also have a platform that's called WorkSpots. And WorkSpots is Family First Life's own office sharing platform. And what you're able to do with WorkSpots is it's $99 per month, okay, to be a member of WorkSpots. It gives you access to over 100 offices throughout the country. So if you're wanting to go into an office and work, it's a shared working space. You could just check in, go into the office, and grab a desk, go to work, call your leads, do whatever you need to do. A lot of the offices have refreshments, whether it's water or Gatorade or some snacks or some coffee. You get access to internet. A lot of them have free printing and faxing services as well. The most important part about WorkSpots for me, though, is the discounts. So as a WorkSpots member, you are able to access those discounts I told you about for leads. So like that 40% discount, it's only exclusive to WorkSpots members. So as a member in your portal, you'll get a discount code whenever there's a lead discount, and you're able to go into the CRM, order your leads, or to the vendor. It could be an outside vendor like Bang Bang Leads or Happy Agent Leads. And you're able to, I think they had like $100 off leads and a 30% off leads, and now it's 40% off. At one point, it was 50% off. So throughout the week, there are multiple lead discounts. So that's definitely a vital tool. Now, if you don't have an office close by that you're going to use and you just want to be able to have access to the lead discounts, just select our West Palm Beach office location as your home office, and kind of as a placeholder until you decide, hey, there's another office I want to go to. And then there's a couple videos here on lead training as well, as far as the internet lead types, how to dial them and how to take advantage of them. There's one agent here of many that made $100,000 on the internet life lead. So he shares this story. But let me take you into the CRM real quick and show you what that looks like. This is my actual CRM. And I'll go home. So when you click that link in the Knowledge Library, this is where it will take you. And if you're not signed up for the CRM, you can shoot an email to Desiree at fflimpactagency.com, and she'll make sure you get the link, or check with your hiring manager or whoever brought you on board. But when you want to order leads, you just click Order Leads, and then you click Buy Cherry Pick Leads. Okay, and it's going to pull up this map of the United States, and it's a heat map. So where it's red hot, there's more leads available. Where it's not, there's less leads available. But even where it's not, let's just jump to Nebraska for the fun of it. Cherry County. So even in Nebraska, where it's not hot in Cherry County, you still have about 50 leads available, or 60 if you include these leads here. So that just gives you an idea as far as how this works. But let me, I'm just going to click on the state of Florida, just so I can show you. So there's 3 different lead types. You have your internet leads, which is our predominant lead type. And there's a beta Spanish internet lead. Beta means it's brand new and they're testing it. And these, when you click on this blue, it tells you the price of the lead. This is pretty cool. It's actually in Spanish. Leads nuevos y exclusivos en español. That's pretty cool. But they're $25 each. And then you have mortgage protection leads that are $35 each. Internet or instant internet leads are brand new. Someone's online, they're shopping for life insurance. They, whether term life or whole life, they click on a link, fill out 13 questions, and that generates an $11 lead. And then the new internet life leads, those are $9 each. Same thing, customers requesting a quote on a term or whole life. And then they have some older ones that are 1 month old for $4 and 3 month old for $3. Okay, so that's all internet. These are online generated leads across the web. Then you have your direct mail leads. Your direct mail leads are postcards that have been mailed to the clients. They fill them out and they mail them back. Okay, and there's a lot of different types or different ages. You have 1 month old, 2 month old, 3 month old mortgage protection. And then you also have 1 month old, 3 month old, 2 month old, and 3 month old final expense leads. But as you can see, a ton of leads available throughout the state. Now, leads may not be available in your county, as plentiful as, for example, Hillsborough County. So you have 1 or 2 options, depending on where you are, and just using Florida as an example. You can drive to that county and help the clients in person, or you can do a virtual sale, whether over the phone or via Zoom. So there's no limitation to you doing business because there's always leads available. And if you're in a state like Nebraska, where there's not as many leads available, you can simply purchase a license in the state like North Carolina, where there's a ton of leads available, and you could do a virtual sale, or you could take a travel trip and write it off on taxes. I hear Carolina, Wilmington is pretty nice. So it's up to you. You're not limited in any way. And then Facebook leads are obviously generated on Facebook, and those are $25 each. So you have a variety of options. Now, just to give you an idea, from a budgeting standpoint, typically you want to have $500 to $1,000 to get started with leads. And when you're getting started, you want to be, you want to be in a position where minimum 50 leads, ideally 100 plus leads is what you want to have. And for me personally, I prefer to start with the older leads, like the 1 month old leads, to get started, because they cost $4 each, and I'm able to practice at a lower cost, right? And then as I get better, then I can move to the newer leads, and I'll pay $9 and $11 or $25 for a newer lead, because I've kind of gotten the rhythm down on the phone, kind of gotten my nerves out of the way. And that's what I recommend as well. So you want to be in that range of 50 to 100 leads minimum to be able to get started. And you can check with your mentor to see, okay, what leads do you recommend? What area, do you recommend for me to go to? So, and then all you have to do to order the leads, you have to select a county. So let's just go with Hillsborough County here in Florida. And let's just select these 2 leads right here, and then add to cart, and then proceed to checkout. And then you would apply your discount code right here, get your 40% off, hit apply, and then you proceed to checkout, you punch in your card number, order your leads. Now, depending on where you are, budget-wise, it's a wise investment to, probably have a credit card that you could utilize, and then you pay that off as you make your sales. So you go out, you make an investment in leads, make the money back, pay off the card. Now you have the cards paid off, you're back in business, and you have some money left over to reinvest in leads. And you really should only have to buy leads once, because then your client pays for your leads with the commissions that you make. And then when you buy your leads, they're going to drop into the CRM, leaving the cart, and then you'll be able to access them. Now, the internet life leads are a great place to start when you're getting started, because the leads cost you less. And then as you start, making sales and kind of getting more comfortable, getting your legs below you, for example, then you can then add on additional lead types. For example, I purchase mailers, a lot of mailers. They convert at a higher rate. And so I'll do mortgage protection and final expense mailers. These leads are like $60 each or $40 each. So depending on where you are budget-wise, it may be something that you have to work your way into. But whatever leads you purchase, they're going to be dropped here into the CRM. You see, I use instant internet life leads as well. So I'm just going to click on this lead, George, click open, so you could kind of see some of the data points that we get on these internet life leads. And before we jump into that, I'm going to just go back to the knowledge library and jump to the next section, which is on the phone. So on the phone is kind of where you make your money. We like to say 90% of what we do is dialing and setting appointments. And whether that's a Zoom or that's an in-person appointment, that's where success happens. Because once the appointment is set, then it's just a numbers game. And it's really a numbers game to set the appointments as well, because you want to have enough leads to be able to set the appointments. For example, on the internet life leads, if you're doing the 1 month old or the 3 month old leads, you can expect probably a 5% closing ratio. So if you get 100 1 month old leads, you should be able to make 5 sales. So it's important to have the right expectation. The difference between that, the 1 month old internet leads, you make 5 sales out of 100 leads, and the average sale is $1,000. So those leads will cost you $500. You make $3,000-4,000 on that investment. But versus if you do like the Facebook leads that are $25 each, if you get 10 of those, you should be able to make 2 to 3 sales. So the conversion's, better in that way. But either way, no matter what leads you get, you got to call them. And so there's a couple tools, that you want to use. First, you want to use our dial tracker. The dial tracker allows you to track your activity. It's like if you are trying to eat better, one of the best ways to eat better is to track what you're actually eating, because then you could look and say, man, oh, I shouldn't have had that honey bun, or whatever the case may be. Or if you're trying to manage your budget better, best place to start is to actually track what you're spending. Same thing with dialing. You want to track your dials and using this dial tracker, because then you're able to see what you're doing, what results you're getting, how many times are you speaking to somebody but you're not booking an appointment, or how many times it takes for you to dial before you get somebody to answer and book an appointment. And this is a great tool for your business coach here to be able to help you assess and analyze what you're doing and see what you may need to tweak, especially within your first 90 days. So do me a favor, for your first 90 days, don't dial without using a dial tracker, because it's going to help you. And your goal too, it also helps you be emotion free, because dialing can be emotional. Not everybody you call is going to say, yeah, Jermaine, thanks for calling. I've been waiting for you. Please come on over. Can you come tonight? I got my license and my checkbook ready. Sometimes it's, hey, stop effing calling me. I told you guys already. That happens. I'm just being real. And you've got to be able to be emotionally stable and know, okay, I just caught that person at a bad time. I either move on to the next lead or try them again next week. Maybe they'll be in a better mood. But it allows you to be able to see, okay, you know what? Yep, I did 25 dials. I booked 2 appointments. Okay, so if I do 50 dials, I should have 4 appointments. And now you can be able to just look at this like it's a game, and you just play the game and you take your emotions out of it. Because if you become emotional, you lose. And that's in every aspect of life, but especially in this business. So your goal should be every 30 minutes, you should be able to get through 25 dials. And if I pick up the phone to dial, and you'll learn this in one of the lead training videos, here's, I've adjusted my strategy recently. So typically if I'm calling David, right, he's our lead, I'm calling him, I dial him once, he doesn't answer, it goes to his voicemail, I hang up, I'm not leaving a message. I dial him a second time, okay, he doesn't answer, I leave him a quick message, David, this is Jermaine, give me a quick call back. Very ambiguous, just knows who I am and I want him to call me. And then thirdly, I'm going to send him a quick text. David, it's Jermaine. Give me a call when you get this. I'm just trying to get him to get on the phone with me. Then I can explain why I'm calling and book an appointment with him. So that's kind of the route. You want to touch each lead 3 times, 2 phone calls. On the second one, leave a quick voice message. And then on the third attempt, it's a text message. And, hopefully within one of those 3 touches, you'll be able to get the client on the phone. And my 2 dials, I count as 2 dials on here, even though it's the same lead. So anybody have questions on that, drop it in the chat. I know typically we have a question around this section. And then you have the phone scripts. We have a bunch here in this section. And then we have the one that I use here. So you could be able to read it and kind of customize it to you. The purpose of these phone scripts is to give you a foundation to build on. It's not just to say, hey, this is the only way you could call. Now, these phone scripts work very well. And so, you want to stick to them as best as possible, but everybody's personality is different. And what I have done personally is I've customized phone script based on all these different people that I've heard to fit my personality and just how I approach things. So let me give you a quick example, and then we'll jump to the last 2 sections and wrap this thing up. So this lead, George, that's an internet lead that I ordered. You see his first name, last name here. You see his date of birth here. You see his address here, his phone number here. I noticed immediately that he's got a 646 area code. So he's from New York. That's something I just put in mentally that I'll use to connect with him on the phone call. And then I'll see over here in the notes section what his income is, that he's a tobacco smoker, that he's single, gives his height and weight. And if I was, concerned whether he's male or female, it tells me there that he's male. So those are different things that you can use in the call if you want to. I typically don't use all of those. I mainly use what's here in this section. So if I call George, I'm like, hey, George, he says yes. I'm like, hey, George, it's Jermaine Clifford. Just giving you a quick call to introduce myself. And I say that because I want him to listen to me. Like, why is this guy introducing himself to me? So it's just to get his attention. I'm just giving you a quick call to introduce myself real quick. I'm a field underwriter down here in Clayton County. I want to connect with him. I'm here in your county. And I'm giving you a quick call back because I'm saying a call back as if he called me, but his request was sent in online. So that's how I get there. Giving you a quick call back because I received the form that you filled out online to get some help with your insurance. I like to keep it vague up front, insurance, because typically I'll get, oh, what kind of insurance? He's curious, right? Or he'll just let me talk. So I say, give me a call back about the request you submitted online to get some help with your insurance. And I like to say get some help because I'm not calling to sell you anything. You requested this. I'm calling to help you. So get you some help to get some help with your insurance. I'm the field underwriter down here in Clayton County. Just wanted to introduce myself real quick and schedule an appointment to see what I could do to help you. I've got your date of birth here as 7/30 of 1960. Is that correct? He says yes. I'm trying to get him to say yes 2 or 3 times, right? Because then when I say, hey, I need to book an appointment with you, it's going to be yes as well. Psychology behind the phone script. I'm giving you guys a little bit extra tonight. And so, so he says yes. And I said, okay, perfect. Like I said, just wanted to introduce myself to you real quick, letting him know I'm not going to be on the phone with you a whole lot of time. And I'm just calling to schedule an appointment with you to see what I could do to help you with this. The way this works, I'm licensed by the state with about 15 different insurance companies. And all I do is I schedule an appointment to come out and meet with you and go over a few options and see what you're eligible for and what we could do to help you. Are you still over at 16511 119th Avenue, or is that an old address? And he's most likely going to say that's an old address because that's New York all day right there. And I might even joke and say, hey, matter of fact, that looks like that's a New York address because I see your area code 646. Are you from the Bronx? That's the Bronx area code. So, I kind of connect with him in that way. So he knows I'm a real person, not some telemarketing machine or something like that, or sales guy. And he'll say, no, that's not my correct address. So I'm like, okay, perfect. What's your updated address? 123 Main Street. All right. So yeah, George, tomorrow I'm dispatching your area. I just need 10 to 15 minutes to go over this with you. Do you work a 9 to 5 or you work a different schedule? And he'll tell me, yeah, 9 to 5. Okay, good. I have 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock tomorrow. Which one of those will work better for you for 15 minutes for me to pop by and just see what I can do to help you? And he'll say 7. So I say, perfect. All right, I'm going to put you down for 7 o'clock. I drive a blue car. I have an ID badge. I'm probably wearing a polo shirt. It's going to be black, blue, or red, depending on what my wife picks out for me tomorrow. And he'll probably giggle at that. And then I'll say, okay, perfect. So put me down on your calendar. I'm going to look for that 123 house number. Is that on the house? Is it on the mailbox? Where can I see it so I don't get lost? And he's going to tell me. So I'm getting him to tell me like directions and, where to locate the house number. So he's picturing me being at his house, coming to help him. And if you were doing a virtual appointment, you'll just pivot and say, hey, I just need to schedule, 15 to 20 minute Zoom meeting with you tomorrow. What time works best? Doesn't matter. But I like going out and seeing my clients. So that's what I schedule. And so that's what I would do just to kind of give you a gist of it. And that script is written down, so you could read through it. And I book an appointment with George, and I do those tie downs. Where's the house number? Put me on the calendar, and then you always want to confirm, George. I think the paperwork says you're single. Are you married or are you really single? Because if he's married, I want to make sure his wife is there because she's the one that actually makes the decisions. So I want to make sure that she's there to sign off on the deal. So different tips like that you'll see in the phone script, but that just gives you an idea. Now, it's not going to be smooth all the time. You may have some objections that come up, but a lot of what I said is said to be able to prevent the objections that may come up. So hopefully that makes sense. And then it's just a numbers game. It's having enough leads to do that enough times to get enough appointments. And from enough appointments, you'll be able to have enough sales along with your no shows and your no sales as well. So let's jump back to the knowledge library and put a bow on this thing. Next section is a product section. And this is the order of operations that I told you about for the products. We mainly do whole life and term life insurance. We also have some IULs and annuities, but that's really maybe 5% of what we do. Our bread and butter is whole life and term life because the majority of our clients, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a whole life to cover their burial. They're looking for a term life to pay their mortgage off or replace their salary for a couple of years if they pass away. And so that's what we service our clients with, right? We meet our clients' needs. And our top company, like I said, is Americo. Their whole life product is Eagle Premier. And then we have Prosperity, Aetna, Mutual, and AIG. And I normally run them in that order. And then on the term side, we have, again, our top company, Americo. They have two products. One is a cashback product, and then one's a non-cashback product. And then we have John Hancock Mutual and American Amicable. And I run those in this order. And what I mean by that is when I'm meeting with a client, I'm trying to get them approved for Americo if I'm doing whole life. And if Americo won't approve, I'm going to Prosperity. And if Prosperity won't approve, I'm going to Aetna. That's kind of my order of operations or process of elimination. And the same thing on the term side. Okay, so you guys can look at this. And the purpose of this document here is so you can go to the carrier websites and be able to look at the product guides and become familiar with these specific products. So it's really two products that you got to get good at, term life or whole life. Now there's different companies that you want to get familiar with, but it's only two products. So it's not complex at all. And you can also do paper applications. So for those of you that have already submitted your carrier contracts, you could do a paper application today, with Americo or Mutual of Omaha. And you don't have to wait for them to send your agent ID. As a matter of fact, they will expedite the process if you send in a paper application while they're going through contracting you. They'll push your contracting forward because you have pending business. So if you're interested in getting started right away, you can. And then here are the carrier contact numbers in case you want to reach out to be able to check on the status of your contracts. You just call them and check on them. A lot of times the paperwork is all in order. You just need to call and put a little pressure on them so they can click a button and get you approved. And then this is where you can see the product guide. I'll just show you Americo's just so you have an example. But I told you Americo, it's Eagle Premier or the term product. So if you go here and then you go to product information, they have two training videos on each product right here. So on the whole life product, 23 minutes, you're a product expert. On the term product, 36 minutes, you're a product expert. It's really that simple. And what I would recommend is you just focus on kind of the top three companies, which for me, Americo, Aetna, and AIG, in case you have someone that's really sick. And if you focus on kind of those three to get started, then you can add on the others. That way you're not overwhelming yourself. And there's a few training videos like how to set up your tablet, some of the things to have in your sales folder. And then we have the Family First Life apparel store here linked again, as well as on the Facebook page. Okay. So our final section here before we open up for some Q&A is the in-home section. This is the section that you'll come to every time you're in the house with a client, when you get started. And I still, 4 years in, I still come to this website. And I'll show you why. But we have, our in-home process here outlined, where the first thing you want to do is complete the client worksheet. So you want to have this client worksheet here printed, several copies, and have one with you along with the lead that the client completed, whether it's an online or a mailed lead. Those are the two things that I have out when I go into a house. And I have also my tablet. I use an iPad Pro. In my opinion, it's the best, but any tablet should work that has internet access. But either way, this is an intake sheet or a data collection sheet, if you will. This is for you to collect the information on the client, their age, their health, their income, any information they have, current life insurance, if it's a mortgage protection, what their mortgage details are. And this is the information that you're going to use to assess the client's needs and recommend the best product for them and the best solution. Let's be more specific. And so that's your first step. Complete this worksheet, and those 3 training videos in the training section go over how to complete the client worksheet, or you go to any of those 3 YouTube pages and type in how to complete client worksheet, Family First Life, and you'll find a ton of videos on how to utilize that. One of the things that I did when I got started is, as I was driving to my appointments, I would be listening to a training video by a lady of the name of Linda Lampasso. In my opinion, at the time, she had the best in-home or client worksheet explanation. And so as I'm driving from one appointment to the other, I would be listening to her training on my car. I wasn't listening to music or anything like that. And I was just tweaking, everything I did wrong in the last appointment, I'd correct it for the next appointment. And that's how I learned. So I recommend you do the same. And that's how I learned. I never went on around along with anybody. I just booked appointments, went out there and did it with the training, and I made adjustments as I went along. So next step here is, hang tight 1 second. So next step is on our order of operations. Once we have the client medical information, is we review the final expense or term grid. Depending on what product your client is looking for, you want to look at the underwriting grid. A lot of times it's going to be final expense insurance. So you go to the final expense underwriting grid, and what we have here, and you can look into this later, I'm not going to zoom in right now just for the sake of time, but we have pretty much 95% of the medical conditions that clients will tell you that they have. And you're then able to look at the condition and figure out, okay, my first company I'm going to is Americo. Will Americo approve it? And then if not, then I'm going to go to Aetna. Will Aetna approve it? And if it's not on here or it says decline, then it's going to be AIG. We don't have AIG on here because we know they're like, hey, this person's seriously ill. That's the only thing they'll take. So you'll know. They'll tell you, hey, Jermaine, I'm in bad shape. Here's what's going on. And you can know it's going to be AIG. But this gives you a good guide as far as which company will approve what. And then, if they're looking for a term plan, then you just go to the term policy, the term grid, excuse me. And you look at the medical conditions, and you'll be able to know who will accept and who won't. So, for example, if you've got somebody that has arthritis and they're looking for a term product, it's pretty much declined for everybody else except for John Hancock. And Forster's looks like they'll take like a mild case of rheumatoid and osteoarthritis. But other than that, it's pretty much declined. So, hey, arthritis, I'm going to John Hancock. That's the purpose of this term grid.
Yes, I'm trying to get to your apartment.
Somebody needs to mute. Let me mute them. All right, there we go. So here are your quoting tools. Let me just make sure I didn't skip a step. Okay, you can also review the underwriting guide. Each product has an underwriting guide. So when you once you're appointed with the insurance company, they'll send you a copy of the underwriting guide, and you could keep that with you, and you could look through the underwriting guide, or as simple as looking at the application questions. One of the easiest ways, right, to figure out underwriting is to start an application with Americo, because Americo is going to tell you within 5 minutes if they're going to be approved or not. And so if you're ever in doubt, go to Americo, start the application. Within 5 minutes, once you do the medical scan, then they'll say, yes, we'll approve, or no, we won't approve. And then you'll know, okay, I need to call for help, which is step 5. We have an in-home helpline, and we have sales managers on call to help. And so you could save that number. When you're with a client, you call, and you want to be quick and efficient. You want to make sure you've completed these other steps, and your conversation should be, hey, Jermaine, I'm here with Bob, got all his medical information, looked at the underwriting grid. He's got this medication or this condition. I think Americo will approve. I just wanted to confirm and make sure I'm putting him in the best spot. That's the conversation you need to have. You need to have done your due diligence, because these sales managers that are on call, they're probably running their own appointments, or they might have another agent that's calling them, right after you get off the phone. But we're there to help you. And then lastly, the last thing I'll touch on in here is the policy recording documents. And you could check out the rest of this stuff, but you want to leave this client insurance coverage form with every client that you meet with. No, the helpline's always available, Blue. And if not, your direct manager or mentor should be available as well if for some reason you can't get through on the helpline. But this insurance coverage is kind of a receipt that you leave with the client. You and them fill it out and sign it. And then this little poem here is a retention tool, because it talks about the purpose of this policy, which is to be there. And when they're laid to rest, now this policy comes alive and begins to work on their behalf, making sure their family has money. So typically when I'm writing up this receipt, I hand this poem to my client and I say, hey, while I'm writing up your receipt, go ahead and read this. And they'll read that, and it's kind of locking in the deal. And then we review this, what we set in place today. They sign it, I sign it, and I leave it with them. So that way they have a copy of it So it's a summary until the policy arrives in 10 to 14 days. So that's pretty much it, guys, for our orientation. Hopefully that's kind of giving you a better idea of what the process is and where the tools are. Oh, I'm sorry. The quoting tools, very simple. Some of the carriers have quoting tools separate from the agent portal. And you'll see those here like Americo and Mutual have them outside of the portal. But everyone else, you need to be in the portal, logged in with your agent ID in order to run a quote. But just give you a quick idea, with Americo, it's as simple as clicking the link, and let's say you want to do the cash back policy where they get all their money back when the policy expires. 20-year-old male, 25,000. Hold on, let me move this. There we go. Then you just hit run, and you have pricing right there. And I'm typically giving my clients 3 coverage options, and you'll hear this in some of the training videos. And then I let them pick one of the 3, and I like to call them plans. Okay. You know, I don't like quotes because quotes just sound like I'm selling you something. What we're putting in place is a plan. So is it going to be plan A, plan B, or plan C? Which one of these plans makes the most sense? That's going to make sure that nobody's burdened when you die, but also make sure you're not burdened each month when the premium comes out. And then I shut up and I let them pick plan A, B, or C. So that's kind of how I close. And then when you're going to complete the application, again, Americo is our favorite because their portal is just the easiest to use. You click on that link, you jump right back here where it says Write Business. You click e-application, you log in. And once it loads, then it's just point and click from there. You just do new e-app, and then it's like booking an airline ticket. Anything that is required is highlighted in red. You can't move forward without putting it in, and you can't mess it up. So it's that simple. And Americo actually has a demo app, so you can actually practice. Let me close this. You can practice if you go here, you do demo e-app, you could like run a mock application and be able to kind of practice a little bit. So we stop share. All right, guys. So that's kind of the process. So hopefully that makes sense. Since I got Gio on here, Gio, can you talk real quick?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. So Gio's business partner of mine, but first my friend. He's you know, we've known each other for about 15 years now. We're getting old, Gio.
We are.
He just had twins, or his wife just had twins, he's a sales manager with our agency. He leads our West Palm Beach office. So those of you that are in Florida, you're most likely going to be working with Gio, being mentored by Gio. But Gio, real quick, anything that you'll share like for a minute, and then we'll just open up for a couple questions if anybody has any.
Well, welcome. First of all, guys, I know that I didn't introduce myself earlier, but definitely take advantage of all the information that has been shared here. I guess the biggest piece of advice that I can tell you is, you know, consider this a new adventure. It's going to have its highs and its lows, but it's a fun ride. It's for sure a fun ride, but most definitely, please make sure that you take advantage of all the training. I was talking to, I think that he's on the call today, Chris. I was talking to him earlier, and I was telling him that neither one of us came in, for the most part, neither one of us came in knowing exactly what to do and how to do insurance. The beautiful thing is that we're dealing with individuals who are asking for life insurance. They've asked for the information. And so simply what we need to do is just follow the system that it's already in place. And once you do that, when you truly follow the system, you'll be surprised on, you know, of what you can accomplish here with Family First Life. So we're not here to motivate you. You should be already motivated. Whatever, you know, the reason is behind, you know, everything that you do on a daily basis, that should be your number one motivation. And we're just here to help you. You know, whatever your goal is, whatever you want to accomplish financially, you know, for your future, whatever that goal is, that's what we're here for. So we're here to help.
Absolutely. Good stuff, man. Thanks for sharing that. So
Yeah, man, for sure.
with that being said, somebody texted me a question. It was like, hey, why do you prefer in-home sales versus virtual sales? And it's two-part, right? The one part is that's what I'm familiar with and used to doing over the last few years. And then the second part of that is just my personality. I like being able to talk to people in person. When I got in this industry, that's what I was looking for. I was prior doing sales over the phone. And then I was like, man, I'm tired of this. I want to meet people in person and have interesting conversation and create new relationships and stuff like that. So that's why I prefer it. And then also just on the whole, the closing ratio is higher in person. To do virtual sales, you'll need more appointments because it's easy for them not to show up for that Zoom appointment, or it's easy for them not to answer the phone when you call. But when I show up to your house and I'm beating down your door, you're going to open the door. So it's a higher show ratio, which then increases my close ratio, because if I see more people, I'll close more people. So that's the other reason why I prefer it. Now, the drawback is I tend to drive more than, obviously you would if you're doing Zoom. So it's kind of give and take, right? Either you're going to book more appointment and expect a lower show ratio, conversion ratio virtually, but you'll be sitting in the comfort of your home like I am right now with your kids' pictures on the back, which is completely fine. Or you get in the car, you put some miles on the car. I typically do 150 miles a day when I'm out in the field. It's each your own. And you could do a hybrid. You could do a mixture of both. One of the things that I've considered is 2 days a week, because I'm in the field 4 days a week. 2 days I'll do virtual, and then the other 2 days I'll go out and meet those clients that do want to be in person. And sometimes you do have those clients like, yeah, I'm not doing anything over the phone. I want somebody to come out. And then you have those clients that I don't want nobody at my house. I want to do this over the phone. So meet your clients where they're at. That's the best part about this. You have that opportunity. So any other questions, guys, I can answer for you?
Yeah, I have a good question. Can you hear me?
Chris. Yeah, I got you, man.
Hey, what's going on, man? Thank you for taking your time and going over all of this with us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for being here.
I'm just kind of like, because I know I was supposed to sign in for something or like get the appointment things.
Yeah, the contracting. Yeah, it's for the cabinet.
Yeah, I wasn't able to do that earlier today. Is there a link or something that I can do that at any time, or it has to be with somebody on the phone?
Yeah, well, you should have gotten the link, but you can also schedule. Let me drop Desiree's Calendly link in here. And I think she's going to be following up with you tomorrow, matter of fact. But let me do this real quick. And this is for anybody that needs some help with contracting. Let me just drop the link in the chat. And Chris, you could just take this link and book a time that's convenient for you on this calendar, and then she'll be able to walk you through it. But you should have already received an email from HCMS that you need to complete, so that way you can get the contracting done. But Desiree will be able to walk you through that. So check your email for HCMS, and let me actually just share my screen again with you, because I think you're joined after I reviewed this. So where is let me go back to the knowledge library. So in the knowledge library, Chris, the first section that says contracting, and I'll drop the knowledge library in the chat. These videos kind of go over what you need to do to be contracted. So you could watch those videos as well as book a time with Desiree. And the link for the knowledge library is now in the chat as well. So that's kind of your next step. Check out those links and those videos on contracting, and then also book a time to be able to get some help hands-on with Desiree.
Yeah, I just checked the email. I see it there now.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. I should be able to just go through
absolutely. Once you complete that email, it's gonna kind of walk you through the process. And then if you have any hiccups, still book a time with her just to make sure you dot all the I's and cross all the T's.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, guys, I'll take one more question and then we'll call it a wrap. Anybody?
Yeah, Jermaine, hi, this is Shayna.
Hey, Shayna, what's going on?
I'm asking about the instant internet leads,
Yeah.
and I have the website and everything. But what is your input on those?
So those are great leads. I recommend all new agents start with them. And I'd start with, depending on where your budget is, I'd start with the 1 month old leads, because they're $4 each. And a lot of those, it was a new lead at one point, and somebody called it, never got in touch with them, or the client was having a bad day, told them, hey, don't call me again. And so they didn't call them again. So now you get to get it at a discount. Instead of 11 or $9, you get it at $4. And you're able to go through, and it's really for practicing, to be honest with you. You're going to make some sales, but the purpose of that is for you to be more comfortable on the phone, and to get some sales, a couple appointments in, and practice your in-home presentation. Because the conversion, like I mentioned on those leads, if you get 100 of those, you should be able to make 5 sales, but you're going to have to work them. There's a lot of dialing. Sometimes the numbers aren't correct, so you might have to door knock them. And sometimes even the addresses are incorrect, because sometimes the address is auto-populated from whatever online website they completed the lead. But it's a great lead for you to get started with, and you'll be able to make some sales. About 5 out of 100 you'll sell. So start there, and then you want to work your way up to the newer leads, and then work your way up to the $25 leads, because the conversion rate is higher. So you have to put in a little less activity to get a better result. Does that make sense, Shana?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to go right to the new ones for $9 and $11, those are the ones that I use week in and week out, along with my mailer leads that are $60 and $30 or $40. So I do a mixture of all of them, but they're the most cost-effective way. But you have to have the right expectation. Again, you get the older ones that are month old plus, you'll sell 5 out of 100. If you get the newer ones, you should sell 10 out of 100. The key there is I'm saying 100, right? So don't get 100 and think I'm gonna make 50 sales. You're gonna be highly disappointed. And it's just the nature of the clientele and the type of lead that you're purchasing. So having the right expectation is the most important thing. And again, you want to attack them in the format where you're calling through twice. That second time, leave a quick voicemail, and then send a text message on that third touch. And then you do that, and then you'll do that again later that day as well. So typically you have to call those leads maybe 4 to 5 times in one day for them to pick up the phone and talk to you and have an opportunity to possibly book an appointment to find those 5 in 100 or 10 in 100 that are actually going to do business with you.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's key to have the right expectations, so that way you're not frustrated. So we always try to be really transparent on that. So, all right, guys. So appreciate you sticking with us. Hopefully this orientation was super helpful. We're going to have this posted to our YouTube page and Facebook page. If you need help, my cell phone number is in the chat. Before I close it out, grab the cell phone number if you don't have it. Text me, reach out to your direct, we call them sales managers or mentors. I'm thinking of switching that terminology to business coach, because that's really what we do. We coach you, and help you be successful in business. Now, the key, and Gio dropped his number there as well. So, reach out to any one of us. We're happy to help you. The key about everything, right? We could give you all the keys to success, but you still got to take it and go open the door, guys. That's the one thing we can't do for you. And when you do, you get the credit. And if you don't, you get the credit as well. I'm just being real. So either way, you're getting the credit. So let's just go ahead and have some success, and you could get the credit for being successful. So we're here to support you. Welcome to the Impact Agency. Welcome to Family First Life. And our motto here is run up the score. So we look forward to seeing you on the leaderboards and helping you make a lot of money. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, guys. Have a great night.